Medicinal Herbs, Chapter 5.
Chapter 5 introduces another well-known parable, the Parable of Medicinal Herbs. The Buddha's teachings are likened to rain that moistens all plants at the same time, even as the plants are nourished differently according to their different sizes and natures. The Buddha's teaching works in the same way. Although this teaching has but one character and one flavor and nourishes all equally without discrimination, nevertheless, living beings receive the essential nourishment of the Dharma differently, according to their capacities. Because their capacities vary, the nourishment they each receive also varies. The Buddha's impartial teaching of a single character and a single flavor represents his sole intention to lead living beings to realize Buddhahood. Yet living beings can only absorb what their capacities are able to grasp.
At that time, the world-honored one said to Mahakashyapa and all the great disciples, "Good indeed, good indeed. Kashyapa, you have skillfully explained the Tathagata's true merit. It is just as you said. Furthermore, the Tathagata has countless, limitless asamkheyas of merit. Even if you were to describe it for countless kotis of eons, you would be unable to finish. Kashyapa, you should know that the Tathagata is the king of the Dharma. His teaching is never false. He imparts all Dharma by means of wisdom and expedience. All the Dharma that he teaches leads to the realization of omniscient wisdom. The Tathagata observes and knows where all phenomena return to. He also knows, with full and unimpeded comprehension, the innermost workings of the minds of all living beings. Furthermore, he has ultimate understanding of all phenomena and reveals to living beings the totality of wisdom. Kashyapa, consider the tricheliocosm with its mountains, streams, valleys, and lands, where many varieties of grasses, trees, shrubs, forests, and medicinal herbs can be found. Each of them has a distinct name and characteristic color. A dense cloud develops, swathing the tricheliocosm. Rain falls simultaneously on and waters without discrimination all the grasses, trees, shrubs, forests, and medicinal herbs, and reaches small roots, small stalks, small branches, and small leaves, medium roots, medium stalks, medium branches, and medium leaves, and large roots, large stalks, large branches, and large leaves. All trees, big and small, also receive their share of moisture according to their large, medium, or small size. The rain of one cloud waters each plant according to its nature, so that it may grow, blossom, and bear fruit. Although growing in the same ground and being moistened by the same rainwater, all the grasses and trees are different. Kashyapa, you should know that in the same way, the Tathagata manifests in the world like a great rising cloud. His voice resonates across the worlds of gods, humans, and asuras, like the cloud enveloping the lands throughout the tricheliocosm. He proclaimed to the great assembly, I am the Tathagata, one worthy of offerings, one of right and universal knowledge, one of perfect clarity and conduct, Sugata, knower of the world, unsurpassed one, subduing and regulating hero, teacher of gods and humans, Buddha and world-honored one. I will enable those who have not yet been taken across to be taken across. I will enable those who have not yet attained understanding to attain understanding. I will enable those who have not yet attained peace to attain peace, and I will enable those who have not yet attained nirvana to attain nirvana. I see and understand all things as they really are, whether in the present or in the future. I know all, I see all. I comprehend the path, reveal the path, and proclaim the path. The multitudes of gods, humans, and asuras should assemble here to listen to the Dharma. Then innumerable tens of millions of kotis of kinds of living beings come before the Buddha to listen to the Dharma. At that time, contemplating to see whether the faculties of these living beings are sharp or dull, as well as whether they are vigorous or lazy, the Tathagata expounds infinitely many kinds of Dharma according to their different levels of understanding, bringing happiness to them so that they quickly receive benefit. Those living beings who hear this Dharma find peace and ease in their present lives. Thereafter, they are born in good places where they find joy in the path and are able to hear the Dharma. Having heard the Dharma, they leave behind all obstacles. Among all dharmas, they follow the Dharma suited to their capacities and gradually realize the path. Like the great cloud that rains down on all the grasses, trees, shrubs, forests, and medicinal herbs, each of which receives essential nourishment according to its distinct nature and grows, the Tathagata teaches the Dharma of one character and one flavor, comprising the qualities of liberation, detachment, and stillness, and culminating in the realization of omniscient wisdom. There are living beings who, upon hearing the Tathagata's Dharma, uphold, read, recite, and cultivate as instructed. Yet in so doing, they are unaware of the merits they are accruing. Why? Only the Tathagata knows the seeds, the appearances, the substances, and the natures of these living beings. Only he knows what they are mindful of, contemplate, and cultivate, how they are mindful, contemplate, and cultivate, what methods they use to become mindful, to contemplate, and to cultivate, and what practices they engage in and what attainments result. Living beings are at different levels. Only the Tathagata with unobstructed clarity perceives them as they are. Similarly, the grasses, trees, shrubs, forests, and all the medicinal herbs are not aware of their inherent qualities of being superior, mediocre, or inferior. The Tathagata understands that the Dharma is of one character and one flavor, with the qualities of liberation, detachment, stillness, and the eternal stillness of ultimate nirvana, all returning to emptiness. Understanding this, the Buddha contemplates the desires in the minds of living beings and wants to protect them. For this reason, he does not immediately teach them omniscient wisdom. Kashyapa, all of you are truly exceptional in that you are able to understand, believe, and accept that the Tathagatas teach in accordance with the capacities of living beings. Why? It is because the Dharma taught by all Buddhas, according to the capacities of living beings, is difficult to know and difficult to understand. At that time, the world-honored one, wishing to restate his meaning, spoke in verse. The Dharma King, the destroyer of existence, appears in the world. He teaches many varieties of Dharma in accordance with the desires of living beings. The Tathagata, out of reverence toward this wisdom, deep and far-reaching, has long remained silent on this important matter, being in no hurry to set it forth. Upon hearing it, those with wisdom will believe and understand it, but those lacking wisdom will doubt it and thereby lose it forever. For this reason, Kashyapa, the Dharma is taught according to their capacities, employing various conditions to lead them to the right view. Kashyapa, you should know, it is like a great cloud emerging from the world and enveloping all. A wisdom cloud filled with moisture, illuminated with lightning flashes, resonating afar with a thunderous roar, brings delight and comfort to all. Obscuring the sun, refreshing the earth, the dense cloud hangs and spreads, coming down almost within one's grasp. It rains equally everywhere, falling alike in the four directions, pouring without measure, saturating all the lands. In the mountains, streams, and steep valleys, in deep recesses, there grow grasses, plants, herbs, and trees, both large and small. The grains, shoots, and crops, the sugarcane and grapes, all are nourished by the rain, and none fail to be enriched. The parched ground becomes soaked. Both the herbs and trees thrive. Water of a single flavor issues from that cloud, moistening grasses, trees, shrubs, and forests, each according to its need. All of the trees, large, medium, and small, receive sufficient moisture to grow and develop. When reached by that same rain, their roots, stalks, branches, and leaves, flowers and fruits, lustrous and colorful, are all fresh and glistening. According to their essence, characteristics, and natures, whether large or small, they all receive moisture, and each one thrives and flourishes. The Buddha is like this, appearing in the world like a great cloud, swathing all. Coming into the world for the sake of all living beings, he illuminates in detail the reality of all phenomena. A great sage, the world-honored one, amid the multitudes of gods and humans, proclaims these words, I am the Tathagata, the Venerable One of dual perfection. I appear in the world like a great cloud, moistening all withered living beings. They all leave suffering and gain peace, bliss, worldly joy, and the joy of nirvana. All gods and humans assembled here, listen single-mindedly and well. Come and behold the unsurpassed honored one. I am the world-honored one, the one beyond compare. To bring peace and ease to living beings, I appear in the world. For the sake of the assembly, I expound the pure Dharma, the sweet dew, the Dharma of a single flavor, that of liberation and nirvana. In a single wondrous voice, I proclaim this principle. I constantly create causes and conditions to bring forth the great vehicle. I regard all as equal without exception. Having neither this nor that, I entertain no thought of love or hatred. I have no greed or attachment, no limitation or hindrance. Constantly, for the sake of all, I impartially teach the Dharma, explaining it to a single person as I would to the multitudes. I constantly expound the Dharma, never having done anything else, whether going, coming, sitting, or standing. I never grow weary of infusing living beings in the worlds, like the rain moistening all. On the noble and the lowly, the superior and the inferior, those who observe precepts and those who violate them, those who comport themselves with perfect dignity and those who do not, those with right views and those with wrong views, those with sharp faculties and those with dull faculties. I impartially send down the Dharma rain and never grow weary. All living beings, upon hearing my Dharma, receive it according to their capacities, establishing themselves on individual levels. Those who dwell among humans, gods, wheel-turning sage kings, chakras, and brahmas are comparable to inferior herbs. Those who know the Dharma for ending outflows can attain nirvana and employ the 6 spiritual powers and attain the 3 spiritual insights. Dwelling in solitude in mountains and forests, constantly practicing samadhi, and awakened by contemplating dependent arising, they are comparable to mediocre herbs. Those who aspire to be the world-honored one think, "We shall become Buddhas." Vigorously practicing samadhi, they are comparable to superior herbs. Furthermore, disciples of the Buddha who are single-mindedly devoted to Buddhahood, who constantly practice compassion, and who know for certain that they will become Buddhas, are comparable to small trees. Those who have firmly established their spiritual powers turn the irreversible wheel and rescue countless kotis of hundreds of thousands of living beings. These are the bodhisattvas, comparable to big trees. The Buddha's impartial teaching is like the rain of a single flavor. Living beings absorb it differently, according to their natures. Like herbs and trees, each has different natural endowments. The Buddha uses this analogy to expediently convey his teaching. Drawing on various words and phrases, he expounds the one Dharma, which, in the Buddha's wisdom, is merely a drop in the ocean. I send down the Dharma rain, filling the entire world. The one flavor Dharma is cultivated according to capacities, just as the shrubs, forests, herbs, and trees, in accordance with their size, gradually grow and flourish. The Buddhas, by means of the Dharma of a single flavor, lead all living beings to attain perfection. Gradually, through cultivation, each attains fruition. Shravakas and Pratyeka Buddhas in their final bodies, dwelling in the mountains and the forests, hear the Dharma and realize Bodhi. They are the medicinal herbs, each growing and thriving. There are bodhisattvas whose wisdom is firm, who thoroughly comprehend the 3 realms and seek the supreme vehicle. They are the small trees, each growing and thriving. Furthermore, there are those who abide in dhyana and have attained spiritual powers. Hearing of the emptiness of all phenomena, they rejoice greatly. Emitting countless rays of light, they take across all living beings. They are the large trees, each growing and thriving. In this way, Kashyapa, the Dharma taught by the Buddha is like the great cloud. With rain of a single flavor, it moistens all the human flowers, so that each bears fruit. Kashyapa, you should know that by using causes and conditions and various analogies, I teach about Buddhahood. These are my skillful means, also used by other Buddhas. Now, for your sake, I reveal the ultimate truth. Not one of you, Shravakas, has attained parinirvana. What you are walking is the bodhisattva path. If you gradually cultivate and study, you will all ultimately realize Buddhahood.